Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most intense and carefully executed battlefield traps witnessed in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. This is a story about patience, strategic deception, technological coordination, and the element of surprise. It's about how Ukraine waited for the exact right moment, allowing 164 Russian tanks and armored vehicles to move into a narrow and deadly corridor, and then in a matter of moments, turned that armored column into burning wreckage. But behind the headlines and dramatic footage, there is a deeper story. It's about how modern warfare is changing, how the battlefield is no longer ruled by tanks alone, and how drones, surveillance networks, and precise artillery have reshaped the balance of power. To understand how such a coordinated strike could happen, we have to start with the terrain. The area where this took place was not chosen by accident. It was a corridor of open ground flanked by rising terrain and tree lines. On paper, it was a direct route forward for Russian armored units, but in reality, it was a funnel, what military planners call a kill zone. A kill zone is an area where the opposing force is exposed, predictable, and crowded enough that multiple weapons can strike simultaneously. Ukraine had mapped this corridor weeks, even months, before the operation began. Drones circled overhead daily, not attacking, just observing, waiting for Russian forces to grow confident using the same route repeatedly. Russian armored units had been attempting to push toward Ukrainian positions for days. They brought tanks, armored personnel carriers, infantry fighting vehicles, support trucks, and engineers. As these movements grew more frequent, Ukrainian reconnaissance units noticed a pattern. The Russians would stage at the tree line, move in battalion-sized groups, and advance across the corridor. This predictability was the key. Ukraine didn't attack the first group, or the second, or the third. Any early strike would have caused Russia to change its route. Instead, Ukraine allowed the Russians to build confidence. The trap was being set. Meanwhile, Ukrainian artillery units were calibrating. They weren't preparing to hit one tank or one vehicle. They were preparing to hit the entire column once it was fully inside the kill zone. This required range calculations, drone guidance, and communications discipline. Every unit had to stay silent. If Russia detected artillery positioning or unusual radio chatter, the plan could collapse, so Ukraine waited. The day of the strike came when Russian commanders decided to push a major armored formation forward. Nearly 164 armored vehicles moved into position. The lead tanks rolled through the corridor, followed by the main body and supply vehicles. The rear guard followed last. In the moment the middle of the column was fully committed, Ukrainian drones transmitted the signal. The trap was closed. The first strikes were not random. They were aimed at the lead vehicles and the trailing vehicles. By destroying the front and the rear of the convoy first, Ukraine trapped every vehicle in between. The Russian tanks were suddenly unable to advance or retreat. What had looked like a strong armored push instantly turned into a stationary metal target grid. Once the escape routes were blocked, the real strike began. Ukrainian artillery batteries unleashed a coordinated barrage. Multiple launch rocket systems, howitzers, and precision-guided artillery shells fell across the corridor in overlapping patterns. Drones fed coordinates in real time. Some drones dropped munitions directly into open hatches. Others simply relayed targeting data to artillery units tens of kilometers away. In addition, Ukraine deployed remote, guided anti-tank mines and roving kamikaze drones that circled the corridor like predators picking off survivors. Russian crews tried to deploy smoke screens, but the wind and drone thermal imaging rendered them nearly useless. Tank turrets swiveled in confusion, searching for a target they could not see. Some vehicles caught fire and ignited ammunition stores, producing chain reaction explosions. Others were abandoned as crews attempted to flee on foot. But even infantry retreat was nearly impossible under the watch of aerial reconnaissance and precise fire control systems. What made this operation so decisive was not just the destruction of the vehicles themselves, but the psychological and tactical consequences. Russia lost not only machines, but trained crews, tank operators, engineers, and officers. These individuals are far harder to replace than the metal vehicles they rode in, and the message was clear. The days when armored columns could advance with sheer force and momentum are over. The battlefield is now ruled by whoever can see first, decide faster, and strike with precision from a distance. This operation also demonstrated how warfare has shifted away from traditional doctrine. In past wars, tanks were the backbone of offensive power. They pushed through defenses, supported infantry, and forced breakthroughs. But in the modern environment, a tank is only as effective as the information network supporting it. If the opponent can see you, track you, and coordinate fire on you continuously, your armor does not save you. The turret thickness doesn't matter if the attack comes from above via drones, or if artillery lands beside you with meter-level accuracy. The kill zone was not just a tactical victory. It was a demonstration of the evolving balance of power. Ukraine used drones, not just as weapons, but as eyes and communication relays. Every soldier on the ground and every artillery crew operated with shared intelligence. Meanwhile, Russian armored doctrine continued to rely on mass movement and momentum, a strategy that is increasingly ineffective on a battlefield where every movement is visible from above. This strike also affected the strategic mindset moving forward. Russian forces became more cautious after this event, slowing their advances, dispersing formations, and avoiding open corridors. But dispersing also reduces offensive power. Russia faced a difficult choice: move slowly and lose initiative, or move boldly and risk another catastrophic ambush. Ukraine forced this dilemma by controlling space, not physically, but through surveillance and fire coordination. The lesson many analysts take from this event is that the most decisive weapon on the battlefield today is not the tank, the missile, or the cannon. It is information. Whoever owns the battlefield from above, whoever has the drones, satellites, radar systems, and data fusion, controls the fight. And in this case, patience was the most important weapon of all. Ukraine did not rush. It did not strike early. It waited until the perfect moment, and when that moment came, 164 armored vehicles moved into the corridor, but almost none came out. This moment will be studied in military academies, not only because of the destruction, but because of the discipline, coordination, timing, and adaptation involved. It was not luck. It was planning, intelligence, and timing executed with precision. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more deep analysis of key military events, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Stay informed, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.